beautiful Joanne. So it's kind of between you knocking stuff over. Gold. This isn't gold, is it? While we're filming, look at this shit style of the store. There's just like boxes of product out all the time. They just don't, I'm assuming they don't have enough storage for it. So they just like set it on the floor like this. I don't know if they're gonna have the gold I need. No. Oh my God. Leaving the money pit. This is probably, I think, the sweatiest part of the whole process. Because whenever I stretch my fabric, by the end of it, I'm just covered in sweat. Like I just ran a marathon. Gotta get those corners first. But I have this like post that I've been putting in the back of my frame. Yeah, so I usually put this on my frame just to keep it from bending or like warping, because I'm like crazy strong, and whenever I stretch my fabric, everything just like warps, like the frame. At least the top and bottom panels do. So I have this bar to keep it like nice and tight. So when I stretch the fabric over here, it doesn't bend the top. Because you gotta get this on there as tight as possible. Alright, still has, could be a little tighter. But the grid's looking pretty like even right now. It's on tight, I'm nice and sweaty, but now I can get it traced up. I'm hoping the colors look something like this. It might be a little too gold, but we'll see. I'm just going to flip my image. Very important tip. I still don't know if I'm gonna do these stars. All right, let's get this projected. Let's get these off. I'm thinking like 4 feet wide for this. I don't wanna go too big. "44 inches, all right, a little bigger. The main thing is I just want to make sure that I can do like the text and everything. As long as the text is like teftable, then I think it'll be good. That's fine. Part, like the long parts, like this part, doesn't really matter as much. Just because when I get my tufting machine in the fabric, I'm just going to follow it all the way across. It's just a better way to like make sure that you get everything on your stencil. It's just to put some light on it. You can see like right here, it just disappears, the light, so. That's everything right there. All looks good to me. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about like all the vertical or horizontal lines. As long as the corners where they need to be, I'll just follow the fabric and just know like where to, as long as I know where to start, you know. Started. I think I'm gonna start with the Pokemon because I think text is always like one of the hardest things to do. So I'm gonna get that detail in first and then work around that. So we're gonna go with sunflower for the letters, which hopefully that's enough. Oh no, so I usually split like a bigger skein like this, just because it's all the same dye lot. If I don't have like too much color I need to fill in, like here, it's not that much gold. So I'll just use this and I'll split it. So the problem's obviously somewhere up here. Alright, so my machine wasn't working unless I had bent the cord up, so I knew there was some sort of issue within the wiring right here. So I would just cut the casing and just peeled it back, and I found it pretty quick. Right here, just like this wire is like pretty much broken. And it was only working when I bent it upwards like that, and that's when it touches. Probably, I don't know, not the correct way to do it, but I've done this before and it worked for me, so I'm doing it. Also, don't ask why I cut the red wire, that was an accident. They're both good now. Both twined into each other, intertwined into each other. Knotted up. And now I need my electrical tape so these don't touch at all. Alright, let's get that electrical tape. It works without me having to bend the cord. Alright, so for parts of the rug that are just like big chunks of color, kind of like this little arrow right here, or these shapes up here, I'll do on-frame trimming just to clean it up before I take it off. You just gotta be very careful. You don't wanna go too deep because it can easily cut through your fabric with these clippers. I'll brush it down the opposite way of which I'm trimming. Just kind of cut at it. All these blocks right here I already trimmed on frame and then tucked it around it, so you can see that it's already looking pretty clean. This is just to speed up the process for when it's off the frame. All right, so I ended up putting in this gold color that I do not like. It's a little bright for Pokemon Gold, so I went back to Joann's for like the 3rd time this week. Got a bunch of this mustardy color, which I think would look a lot better. So I made this little tool that removes yarn. It's pretty much just like an extra blade that I like tape and handle to. So it just pulls it out really nice. Just kind of bring it up to the line like that and pull up. Honestly, anything to save your fingers, you know? All right, the rug is fully tufted. Now it's time to glue, just to keep everything together on the fabric. I like to use gloves because this stuff gets everywhere, and a big spatula to get it all over the back of the rug. So this is the glue that I use, Roberts 3095. You can get it at Home Depot for around $60, I think, for a 4-gallon tub. And I do this whenever I glue. I take my excess fabric, just lay it over my yarn gutter so it kind of catches any glue that drops down. I like to take a big scoop, kind of just leave it on the frame at the top, and then just spread it down from there. And I'll take it about an inch off of the rug, like this, so when it dries up and I cut it out, I can fold it over and do the waterfall edging. I'll make sure that every piece of yarn is covered in glue. Does that look good? Like the hair? Alright, so the rug is finished on the frame. At least the tufting and gluing process is done. It's all dried up. It's still a little tacky, but that's how I want it. You can see right here, I went over the edge at least an inch, and that's because when I cut it out, I'm gonna fold it over so I get the waterfall edging. Let's get cutting. All right, so now that I've like made sure all the contact of the backing has touched the back of the rug with both glues, it's really secure in the middle of the rug. When I did the spray adhesive, I kind of missed the outside because that's where I'll be putting the hot glue around the edge of the rug to make sure everything's fully just in place and does not move anywhere. So I'll take a hot glue gun with hot glue sticks and I'll just hit every edge right up to it. I'll just peel it back and put a decent amount of hot glue on the edges. And then I'll get my roller again and just roll off the edge of the rug. And flattens the rug out. We're about finished. The backing is fully secured in the middle and all of the sides. It's not going anywhere. I need to level this thing out now. It's like really rough looking on top. It's really uneven. So I have this weighted trimmer and I'm gonna hook up my vacuum to it just to suck up all the debris, and it's just gonna grind down the top of the rug and make sure everything's flat and level. From there, I'll start getting all the smaller details, like the actual graphic itself.